Story 1. Comparison is the thief of joy. Just because that one guy thought that one girl was more compatible with him than you doesn't make you any less. Story 2. Dating is generally about the better match. There's no hierarchy of people where someone is better than another person. It's all subjective. If you are an avid rock climber and you are dating two women, one's a rock climber and the other plays role-playing games, then the better match for you is the rock climber. That doesn't make the rock climber better than the role player in any objective sense. It just means that the rock climber is a better fit for the guy since he also rock climbs. Fun isn't well defined. If your idea of fun is video games and his is weightlifting, then him saying you aren't very fun doesn't mean much. Story 3. I had a friend who had two girls interested in him at the same time. One was really pretty, but she was not a nice person. She insulted him a lot, and it didn't seem playful. The other was not the prettiest, but you could tell she actually liked him. Her jokes were playful. She went out of her way to make things for him, and she was considerate. He dated the nice girl, thank goodness, and they are still together after 4 years. Story 4. Personality has longer staying power than looks. If I am having fun in your presence, then I will associate you with good feelings. Story 5. At the end of the day, compatibility and mutual respect forge the strongest connections. It's not just about shared hobbies or one person's energy level. It's about feeling at ease with someone, a partner who can appreciate the quiet just as much as the adventures, and someone who sees you for who you are at your core. Sometimes the brightest flames burn out the fastest, and what you want is the kind of warmth that lasts through the coldest nights. Your value isn't defined by someone's inability to see that. The right person will recognize and cherish your unique energy, whether it's vivacious or serene. Story 6. This stings, but it shouldn't. You can meet someone who has 7 out of 10 characteristics you really like, end up together, and be happy. Then you come across somebody who embodies 10 out of 10 characteristics you like. It's only natural to feel more attracted to them. This would be a confusing phase for most, so don't take it personally. You'll likely be somebody else's 10 out of 10 match, while the other person wouldn't be. Don't let it bring you down. Move on and stay confident. Other people's choices shouldn't affect your self-esteem and image. Story 7. A lack of morals, empathy, ambition, intelligence, education, and personality. I always choose the interesting and stimulating ones over superficial individuals. I'm looking for a partner, not for a balloon. Story 8. He said he likes her personality better and that she is energetic and fun. I certainly made myself feel bad by asking that question, like I'm the opposite of that and she is everything I'm not. The actual intrusive thoughts you should be fighting are the ones telling you that you need to appeal to and please everyone. Original poster. You don't. As someone with rejection-sensitive dysphoria, I tend to do this too if I am not careful. I don't think I will ever be able to see or experience rejection as a good thing, but I have learned that it is better to seek people who are into who I am already instead of dwelling on the people who need me to change who I am to care about me. Not everyone needs or wants an energetic or constantly entertaining partner. You should try to find the sort of person who thinks boredom is an insulting term for stability. Confided in a male friend and he said she is probably just more attractive. This is probably a bad take. He does not know your ex's inner mind, your ex does. I wouldn't let this get to you. Story 9. Dating desirable men or women often leads to this result. They have multiple options, so statistically, there's a chance they'll like someone more than you. It just comes with the territory. Just because you're not their preference doesn't mean you won't be someone else's. It's better to get an honest answer from someone instead of being strung along or lied to. In the age of dating apps, consider yourself lucky for that. Some guys go for women they find more attractive, some look for a more compatible personality, and others seek similar interests, lifestyle, and goals. It honestly depends on personal preferences. For me, it's personality, lifestyle, and how they carry themselves, but another guy might decide based on the same metrics and get a totally different result. Story 10. Welcome to our world, men. Women do this all the time and leave us totally confused. But here is how we keep our sanity. Don't worry about the why, and don't compare yourself to the person you lost out to. It won't change anything and will just make you feel worse. Just move on and know that he is the one missing out on you. Story 11. On some objective level, we live on a planet with billions of people. No matter how hot and amazing a person is, statistically, there are going to be millions of people who are hotter, funnier, and more energetic. You'll never get anywhere if you evaluate your happiness based on those people existing. Try to think about it in reverse. Imagine that he decided to date you exclusively and told another woman that he chose you because you were better in certain areas, and she was really bummed about it. What general advice would you give her? Story 12. So, after years of being the guy the girls didn't choose, I met my wife. She was the girl the guys didn't choose. We were both more than happy to choose each other. Every person has different things they are looking for. While you may not check the boxes for one person, it doesn't mean you won't for another. Be patient and don't let not being chosen yet make you think you aren't worth choosing. Story 13. When I was younger, my friend was right. I definitely left a great girl for a more attractive one, and I regretted it for the next couple of years after the whirlwind romance ended, as they often do. Now that I'm older, I choose someone with a better personality fit. If you're going to spend a lot of time together, you might as well pick someone with whom life is easy and peaceful. Story 14. You have to realize that it's only an opinion. Someone out there thinks you're hideous, while another person out there thinks you are a goddess. Recognize what reality is. Stop getting upset. It's unhealthy. Story 15. One very tough but important realization in life is that almost everything has nothing to do with you. The things that went into creating his psyche that shape and inform his decisions had 99.9% nothing to do with you. So to approach this as if it is somehow a reflection of you or your worth is self-destructive at worst and, not to be insulting, kind of silly at best. It's not an easy thing to accept. I have to remind myself every day, but it's important to accept because it will free you from ruminating and the negative thought cycles that come out of that. Book recommendation for you: Living from a Place of Surrender. It expands on this idea and may be helpful if you're having a tough time right now. Story 16. I've definitely said a lot of things I regret in my life, stuff I wish I could take back, like the whimper in the anime scene in Kill Bill. Actually telling someone the truth when they ask questions like this during a breakup has got to be difficult. He should have said something like, "Oh, you're wonderful. I don't know. I feel that spark with her, you know? I can't put my finger on it. You're both amazing people. Gorgeous, fun, smart. I don't know what it is. Just that feeling that tells me to go with her. I'll have to remember this for my writing. Real people don't talk like that. They say things like your former partner said." Anyway, I know it's a cliche, but for real, unless you truly do lack appeal, hint, you don't, then it really is him, not you. All that he said is just his opinion. On top of that, and many people forget this, you don't want to be with someone who isn't totally into you anyway. It's a weird analogy, but it's like parenting. The answer should be, "Oh my God, yes," or nothing. Never a lukewarm, "I guess," or whatever. You know what I mean? For the question, "Do you want to be with me?" the answer should be excited enthusiasm and overwhelming desire. Same with, "Do you want to be a parent?" Because while both are rewarding and fulfilling and a fundamental facet of the human experience, they're both demanding, take a lot of work and attention, and depend on the participation of another person. So you don't want someone who's indifferent about you. You want someone who is absolutely eager to be with you. I don't know. At least I think that's what people want, because that's what I want to be for someone else. Could be Dunning-Kruger in effect here. This is what I want, so it must be what others want. I doubt it though. Just extrapolating the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and drawing conclusions from observations over the years, as well as my own experience. You're fine. It's all good. Don't settle for someone you're not into, who isn't into you. It's better to be alone, trust me. I actually do have this. Happily married for many years, and it's been and is wonderful mostly. I just had to word it in the hypothetical above to fit the vibe. Story 17. You'll find someone who appreciates your qualities and will be more compatible. Just because he wasn't the one doesn't make you any less worthy. Story 18. Honestly, you probably dodged a bullet. If the guy was inconsiderate enough to actually answer that question, knowing the effect it would bring, then his lack of character has just been exposed. Anyone with some emotional intelligence would know to let someone down gently and realize that it has little to do with the person they are breaking up with. You deserve better. You're beautiful. Don't worry, it'll work out. Also, remember that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Story 19. Did you really care about him like that? Or are you just upset someone was chosen over you? People can be foolish. I remember someone being chosen over me after dating a guy for a month. I was hurt. I'm still friends with that guy and have befriended the girl too. That man has been suffering from cheating, physical and emotional abuse, and embarrassment for 10 years. He calls me to cry, and she calls me to gloat. And the dozens of other times it has happened, none of those guys are married. Hardly any of them stayed with that other girl longer than a month or two either. These people don't know what they want or what they are doing. Don't give it a second thought. Story 20. Shared interests and values can certainly make the road smoother, but true compatibility transcends mere common hobbies or similar energy levels. It's about finding someone with whom your soul feels in harmony, where silences aren't awkward and conversation isn't forced. It's the person who laughs at your jokes, not just out of courtesy, but genuine amusement, and finds comfort in your quirks rather than criticizing them. Attraction is indeed complex. It's a weaving of the physical, the intellectual, and the emotional. When all these align, that's where the magic happens. Golden looks may catch the eye, but it's the golden heart and mind that capture your being. Don't let the shadow of someone else's preference dim the light of your self-worth. The right person will see the whole spectrum of your beauty, inside and out. Story 21. Why do you want to torture yourself? Accept the things you cannot change, gain courage to change the things you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Story 22. There is no true objective measure of who is more attractive. Chemistry is chemistry. There are all sorts of subconscious things that occur when choosing a partner. Sometimes you meet someone, go out with them for a bit, and wonder why it isn't working. Sometimes you go out with someone once, and it clicks immediately. Story 23. I saw the title and thought this was going to be about cheating on a partner. Is dating multiple people at once really the new norm, or is this some kind of online dating phenomenon? Story 24. The biggest lie in human history is be honest. There's always someone hotter, prettier, and more fun than you. If you're looking for a partner, remember it's like a court jury. You have to change one person's mind, not everyone. From experience, I chose the stable, predictable woman over the fun, attractive one. 12 years later, I went through a divorce because my stable, predictable woman couldn't stay faithful. Story 25. Femininity and positivity will almost always win a man's affection. Overthinking, being difficult, second-guessing him, being whiny, not putting effort into your looks, and having a combative nature are turnoffs for most men who have other options. On the other hand, agreeable and nice girls will most often win out in these situations. As long as the man is not embarrassed to be seen with you, he will most likely choose the girl he gets along with better over looks if he sees any future with them. Story 26. What other reasons would he choose her over you that you would feel okay about? Try not to dwell on his exact words. Just think, he clicked better with her. There's likely nothing you could have done, just like there's nothing some guys could do to make you want to date them exclusively over another better match. People can't even agree on which celebrities are attractive. Different preferences and all that. There are definitely guys interested in what you have to offer. The hard part is sorting through them. Good luck. Story 27. The answer may be that she's hotter or more fun. Just remember to add to him after those descriptors. She's hotter to him, not objectively. Story 28. I always pursued only one girl at a time. There was this one time when we hit it off really well, talked for hours, had a great date, and an awesome make-out session afterward. Then she kind of disappeared. Whenever I looked for her, she'd say she was busy. When I took the hint and left her alone, she'd reappear and be affectionate. But when I asked her out again or wanted to meet up, she'd leave me hanging. After about a month of this, I started looking for someone else. After the second month, I met someone else. I went on a date with her, and 2 days later, she wrote to me about wanting a second date because she really liked me. The next afternoon, the first girl who had been playing hard to get for 2 months showed up again and asked if I wanted to hang out. I told her I already had a date for the same day. She was shocked and asked what went wrong when she thought we were really great. I told her that she kept blowing me off for 2 months, and I don't play games. So it was a clear choice. Story 29. Yeah, he may think her personality is better or that she is prettier or hotter, but who says he's right? It's only an opinion. His opinions might be wrong. Story 30. Not a man, so I don't have any input. Just wanted to say I appreciate your post. I went through something like this recently, and the comments are helpful. Story 31. I left a girl I truly loved and enjoyed being around to get back with my ex. We had been broken up for about a year. I met this girl days after I broke up with my ex, and she had just ended things with her ex as well. We were both broken and started a casual relationship. We both developed feelings but were too scared to open up, fearing it would push the other away. I realized how foolish it was to get back with my ex, as there was a reason I left her. I regret not opening up to that girl. When I got back with my ex, I told her, and she responded with, "Wow, I was waiting for you to make me your girl." I thought she only wanted a physical relationship. We didn't communicate because we feared losing each other. She was afraid I was seeing other people, and I thought the same about her. We never discussed what a relationship would look like for us, or our boundaries and what we were okay with. I thought it would be a disaster. We ran into each other recently and connected again. We talked all night until the sun came up. We have the same relationship standards, ambitions, and end goals. I didn't know any of this because I thought discussing it would scare her off, and she thought the same. I'm trying to make things right with her, but I've caused a lot of damage, and it's hard to regain her trust. She thinks I'll leave her for someone else again. I made a mistake, so don't beat yourself up. It's not always you. Story 32. Had the same choice and went with energetic and fun. If a girl can't be energetic and fun in the early courting stage, it's only going to get worse. Story 33. A quote from one of my favorite book series. The faults we see in others never seem as dreadful as those we see in ourselves. Colleen from Magician's Apprentice. Story 34. Don't ever belittle yourself by comparing yourself to someone else. Everyone has different tastes in general, and just because one guy thinks another girl is more fun doesn't mean you aren't. You're just a different kind of fun than she is. And as for hotter, trust that you're hot and no one will be able to tell you otherwise. Story 35. Stop beating yourself up. I know it isn't easy to stop thinking that way, but it's illogical, self-harmful, and counterproductive to base your self-worth on other people's subjective preferences. Some people will like you, some won't. That's just the way it goes. Putting it another way, should every person you don't like feel bad about themselves? Obviously not. But sometimes there are parts of us that can make us less likely to attract people, like poor mental health and low self-esteem. And in those cases, it's important for you and your love life that you work on improving them. I'm speaking from experience here. When I was depressed or had low self-confidence, I attracted far fewer women because things like that impact your personality, behavior, how you interact with people, your body language, and even how much you take care of yourself. I hope you have better luck in the future, but you should work on that self-worth. Story 36. This is why I struggle to date 2 people at once. I literally had to do this last week. I told the other girl that we weren't as romantically compatible as I was hoping, due to a lack of chemistry. I didn't want to tell her I met someone else that I like more. I much rather focus on one lady at a time until I've decided to drop it or move forward with them. Story 37. Add the words for him after the better parts. He made the decision that someone was better for him. We aren't all compatible with each other. He thought she was more compatible. This doesn't mean she's a better person overall or in any individual way, just better for him and his opinion at the moment. Him liking her personality better and her being a better person are entirely different statements. I have a few female friends who are great people, but our personalities don't mesh romantically. As for answering your actual question, I only had to make that choice one time. It was pretty easy. The one that didn't want to keep our relationship hush-hush was a clear choice. Story 38. I would say don't ask questions if you don't want to know the answer. I think it's great that he was at least honest and didn't say something vague. Of course, this stings, but what did you expect him to say? He wouldn't have chosen someone else if he felt you were what he wanted. But also, that's perfectly okay. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't lose too much sleep over it. People have different preferences, and that's that. Story 39. For me, it was long-term potential. I was dating around for a while, but was not quite ready to settle down. When I was ready, I chose the woman who was the best match for a long-term relationship. The other women were great, but most of them, either from their choices or mine, did not have long-term potential. My situation, looking for a mother for future children, was very specific. Story 40. Your insecurities and dwelling on things that make you sad are part of what's preventing you from coming across as energetic and fun. People with self-pity mindsets can feel a bit draining to be around. Build your life with things you are excited about and look forward to. Then you will exude a different vibe. There is a podcast called Do the Work that is recommended for you. Story 41. The girl I chose, now my wife, didn't smoke weed, believed in vaccinating our future children, and had a better personality. Story 42. The first girl seemed like she actually liked me, which is unrealistic, so I chose the one who rejected me. Story 43. You wouldn't pair brown shoes with a black suit, but it doesn't make the brown shoes less interesting or good-looking. Don't worry about it. There's someone out there who will think you're so fine that the sun shines out of you. Just keep at it. Story 44. I did the opposite. I didn't choose the other girl, despite her looks, because she wasn't as positive, bubbly, or cute as my partner. Early in my relationship, another girl was making a very strong pass at me, trying to seduce me by sending me provocative pictures and frequently hitting on me. She was persistent. It was hard to resist because she was a beautiful, fit Latina, maybe even more attractive than my partner at the time, but I could never go through with it because we didn't connect the same way as my partner and I did. It was a gut feeling. My partner was funnier, more energetic, more loyal, and more successful, so I stayed loyal. I eventually told my partner about this girl and cut her off. The other girl then went ballistic and started harassing us, saying some very unkind things about both of us. It turned out I made the right call by trusting my gut. The other girl was irrational. Story 45. Yeah, don't put much stock in what either of them is saying. Everyone is different and needs something different. You want someone to choose you, and they're out there. His answer was shallow and immature, and so was your friend's. I've been through a lot of difficult relationships, a failed engagement, and a failed marriage. I suffer from major depressive disorder. I didn't meet the amazing woman I'm with now until I started putting myself first and ignoring all the noise. You do you, original poster. Keep going and don't settle for either of those losers' opinions. Story 46. For me, it is entirely personality-based, but the thing is, connection is real. It doesn't mean your personality is bad necessarily, just that it was not a good match for his. I've been on bad dates where I did not like their personality, but for someone else, it could have been their dream girl. We should pursue people who want us, even though I know it hurts. Or if he's shallow, he's going to base it completely on looks, which, if this is the case, then do you really want to date someone this shallow? Story 47. Compatibility is a spectrum, just like attractiveness. It's not that you didn't have either. It's more like his aligned with hers better, and things click. Conversations feel easy, interests are aligned, and life experiences are more similar. She may very well be better at carrying and initiating a conversation instead of waiting for it to be thrust upon her. Deep down, you know the answer if you felt that click with that person, where everything feels like it falls into place by itself. When you know, you know. And if you don't know, you didn't have it. Story 48. Besides any personality differences he may have, he told you that he is going exclusive with someone else instead of dragging you along and keeping you as a side option. Honestly, as you get older, people just like different things. Some people prefer a more physical approach and are attracted to women who wear a lot of makeup, false lashes, and long nails. Then some guys are more attracted to personality. Story 49. Sometimes it means something, sometimes it means nothing. People tend to forget that humans often act on a logical emotion. I don't know about your situation, but if it's true, you can use it as a harsh revelation to improve yourself. For me, I chose the other girl because I was intimidated by one girl, and the other girl was more approachable. It ended up being one of the most pivotal decisions of my life. Happy ending though, I ended up with the original girl and couldn't be happier. For context, we weren't dating, just talking at the time. So my naive 18-year-old self wanted to get laid instead of trying to improve myself for my future wife. When I look back, I definitely wasn't ready. In fact, I still don't think I'm ready for her. But because I love her, I try very hard to be the man she deserves. Story 50. It's very easy to feel like that in the vacuum of the relationship you were in with him. But outside of that, you're missing the infinite possibilities you have with someone else. It's fine to mourn what you thought you might have with this guy, and you'll heal from that and realize he saved you from a greater heartbreak. The best thing to focus on is yourself at this point, and you'll likely attract something much better than you considered before. As to your posted question, when I was younger, as a teenager, I had two girls interested in me, and I regret to say that I went for the more accessible of the two. She lived a few blocks down, and the other lived on the other side of the city. In retrospect, if I could do it again, I would ignore both of them and work on myself because I ended up having a tough time trying to keep up with the needs she had while I was not in a place to set boundaries with her. Story 51. I went with the other girl once. She was not more attractive, but we had a sexual connection. She liked my music, and I loved how that made me feel. People tend to go for the person who makes them feel good about themselves, someone they have a natural connection with. Looks aren't everything. Story 52. Hey, just because she's his cup of tea doesn't mean another guy won't find you to be his hot cup of coffee. And fun is subjective. Maybe she's interested in things he finds more entertaining than you do. There's a guy out there who will like the things you do and find you entertaining too. Story 53. Way less drama. We just got along better and had better chemistry. The other one was long distance. Towards the end, it was just more bickering. An added bonus. The local girl was a model. Story 54. You have to stop giving their opinions any consideration. There are a lot of men out there. Think about what you want in a partner and go looking for it. Even better if you go looking for friendship first. Don't let them treat you like a choice because you are not. The minute you feel you're not appreciated, walk away. It's just not meant to be. It's not a you thing. It's them not being right for you. Also, the guy you were seeing doesn't sound great. He could have said a lot of things other than, I found someone else who is fun. His emotional intelligence is questionable, and honestly, it's good that he removed himself. The right guy is out there. You might not find him on the first try, but he's there, and he's searching for you too. So don't stop putting yourself out there. Story 55. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Story 56. She gave me more attention. She showed me she wanted me more without me having to seek it. Essentially, she made me feel more desired and desirable, that she wanted to be there more. Story 57. Oh boy, flashback to high school where there were two girls who were really interested in me, and I ate lunch with them every day. One of them, in my opinion, was cuter but had less in common with me, while the other was a genuinely cool person. Like the foolish young man I was, I chose the girl I was more physically attracted to and tried to convince myself she was a better match for me. It was a nightmare. She was a total mess and ended up cheating on me. Meanwhile, over the years, the other girl went to college, got a great degree, secured a fantastic job, became an Olympic-level archer, and had a loving husband and a happy family. My point is that people can try to fool themselves into thinking someone is a better choice purely based on physical attraction and will justify it however they feel they need to. Even if he's really into this other girl more, it just means he's not the one for you, and it's easier to learn that now rather than later. Take it as a lesson. Life finds a way to work things out. Story 58. In graduate school, I had two close female friends. Initially, I really liked one a lot. Let's call her Susan. We would talk, hang out, and she would write me letters. I never felt like I could break into the romantic side of our relationship, though. The other, Faye, was someone I always found myself around, and she kind of followed me. I had an inkling she liked me. One night, Faye asked if I had ever thought of us dating, and we kissed. Still, I was reluctant. We started a relationship and eventually settled down together. I'll be honest, though, I often think of Susan and wish I had just gone for it with her. I feel like I would have had more fun, and maybe we would have been a better long-term fit. There is often no real logic to these things, and it also may end up being a bad decision in the end. Story 59. If it's any consolation, I went with the girl to whom I was more physically attracted and compatible. I realized a little too late that I was wrong about both of those things. Story 60. I wouldn't say hotter. I would say she put out with less effort on his side. If it feels like work to sleep with you, it makes you look disinterested. Story 61. Whatever he chose, it was subjective. Just because they were more compatible doesn't mean you are worse in any way. Story 62. A combination of things. When I was dating my wife, I was also dating a different woman. Physically, they couldn't have been more different. My wife is 4 feet 11 inches tall and about 95 pounds. She's basically an Asian doll. The other woman was taller, maybe 5 feet 7 inches, and a statuesque black woman. On paper, I guess my wife should have lost the decision-making process. She was a broke college student getting her Master of Business Administration degree, and the other woman was a well-established surgeon. But there was something about my wife that clicked with me. Story 63. The prettier, more popular girl was well known for cheating and treated her boyfriend poorly. When she professed her feelings for me, I had no interest in taking his place. The other girl was sweet and made me feel needed. Story 64. Think you dodged a bullet. I did this but just told the person I didn't think it was going to work out. I wouldn't say, I don't like you as much as the other girl. They're way more fun and cool. Story 65. The first girl was difficult to be with. The other girl required less effort and offered a better return on my investment. Story 66. Yes, it stings, but use that as motivation. Going against the grain here. Of course, you're perfect. Of course, you don't need to change for anyone. Enjoy those happy, encouraging comments. But what if you did change certain qualities or characteristics about yourself to be more appealing? Change your physical appearance to be more attractive? You already came to Reddit to get others' opinions and self-reflected. Those are good steps. Now it's time to put in the work. Enjoy the journey. Story 67. I've only been in that situation once, and I picked the one I did because she acted like she was more into me. Story 68. He was honest with you. You don't tell a girl you prefer someone else's personality to hers if you're trying to let her down easy. Story 69. He said she is probably just hotter. If it was just a one-night stand, yes, I would choose the hotter woman. For long-term relationship purposes, looks matter less to me. Story 70. Better personality? Is there an objective scale? Or is it just a matter of opinion and individual compatibility? Story 71. Hey, as a male, don't take this hard at all. Sometimes it's infatuation and just a spur of the moment. Regardless, these things aren't directly comparable. Think of it this way. For whatever reason, he may have had better chemistry with that person. Good for him and you, because now neither of you settle for less. There are plenty of others out there with whom you will have a better and more reciprocal connection. Also, asking is not a bad thing either. Yes, in the moment it may sting, but so does not getting a job after an interview, receiving a poorer test score than you wanted, or getting the wrong toppings on your burger. The point is, in the moment it's annoying, but it's either pick up and learn from it or it's so minor in the grand scheme. You'll be fine, and trust me, there are plenty of men who will find you more attractive when the time comes. Story 72. To your question, in high school, I accidentally started dating 2 girls. I legitimately thought I was just hanging out with them as friends. What can I say? I was young and naive. Once I realized they were both interested in dating me, I had to decide who I wanted to pursue a relationship with, if any. I seriously wasn't looking to date at the time. Both were smart, pretty, and fun to be around, so it really came down to who I couldn't stop thinking about and wanted to potentially spend the rest of my life with. Even in high school, I didn't see the point in dating just to date. There was nothing wrong with the girl I didn't pick. She just wasn't the one I chose. As for the rest of your post, sometimes people are more compatible with someone else. Sometimes they chase after the new relationship sparks, and sometimes they're just not nice. I have no idea how accurate either of their statements are, but if you're unhappy with who you are, then work to become a better version of yourself. If you're happy, then find someone who matches your energy and wants you for who you are. Story 73. I had a similar experience with the last person I dated. We had been friends through a mutual interest for a very long time, went on one official date, and then he went quiet. We didn't have sex or even make out, so I know it wasn't that. The problem with him is that he decided to lie about why he didn't want to go on another date, which is wild to me coming from a 41-year-old. He wasn't sure if he was ready for what I was looking for, which was commitment. It turned out, not long after, he became exclusive with another person in this group. Someone hotter and more fun from even my own perspective. Stung, but I moved on fast. There is someone out there who doesn't want to be with the woman who is over the top and high maintenance. The same goes for you, original poster. On to the next. You've got this. Story 74. So, because attractiveness is subjective, maybe you are right. However, whichever one of you gave him more peace is probably who he picked. Story 75. Choosing one girl over the other will typically come down to numerous factors, not just one, and many of them may be intangible, such as how you feel around the person. But that's just life, isn't it? Dating, in general, is nothing more than a series of subjective experiences. What is attractive to one person might not be to another, so there's no need to hurt your own happiness by worrying about someone choosing another girl over you. If you date enough, we will all eventually play second fiddle to someone who is a better match, just as we've all chosen one date over another for our reasons. As long as you're putting your true self out there and not trying to pretend to be someone you're not in the name of attracting another person, you have nothing to worry about. Good luck to you. Story 76. I don't know you and have no idea if this applies to you at all, but there was one single point when I actually had more than one date at a time and could choose who to keep, which is when I met my current girlfriend. I had just finished a date with another girl I'd seen twice and was talking to a third I never actually met. The girl I had seen twice was good-looking and had some good aspects to her personality, but she had quite a few red flags and stuff I didn't want to deal with after enough failed relationships. When I got my girlfriend's number and started talking a lot more than the dating app's couple of messages per day, I was just blown away. Our personalities clicked. She's gorgeous and just seemed like someone for the long haul. I'm marrying this one, I thought, and started winding down my connections with everyone else as painlessly as I could. Story 77. He picked what he liked more. Perhaps think of it as he may have seen something that would not make it work out with you, so he saved you wasted time. Story 78. That stings, but ultimately you don't want to be with someone who doesn't value you as a first choice. His honesty is actually a blessing. He essentially just said he doesn't see the two of you together, whether there's another person or not. Story 79. Curiosity killed the cat. It's not terrible to understand a bit about people's preferences, especially if we're working on improving something and discover it's directly related to unintentionally putting someone off. It sounds like he was dating and found someone who suited him better, which is positive. We should all choose the most suitable person. Attraction isn't much of a choice. You can talk people out of liking you, but you can't talk them into it. It doesn't devalue you. It's your job to find someone who truly values you and chooses you because you are their best option, and you feel they are yours. Story 80. If you get to my comment, I want you to remember a single phrase. Nobody is made for everyone. Physical attraction is poorly defined. If you made a scatterplot of people others find attractive, you would never find a good definition or scale. Comparing yourself to someone else in such a manner is futile and will only make you feel worse. A great example for me is that I don't find Uma Thurman attractive at all. On my personal scale, I would consider her a 2 out of 10 based on looks alone. I know many people think she is absolutely gorgeous, and no one is wrong here. I mostly think I am not attractive. I have been told I am and have received compliments. The simple explanation is, I am not my own type, and that's okay. Don't look for reasons why something isn't working like that. You will never get a fulfilling answer. Just be the best you that you can be, and you'll find someone who thinks the world of you. Story 81. Both beauty and personality are highly subjective. Qualities that make you inferior in the eyes of one person can be attractive in the eyes of another. Story 82. People look at this way too comparatively and fail to see that your view of others is relative to you as a person. People are like jigsaw puzzle pieces. Some fit together and some don't. Just because you don't fit with someone specific doesn't mean you're worse than the person who does fit. It just means you weren't compatible. In the same way, you can meet a nice, handsome guy and not be attracted to him. You just aren't compatible with him. It's not like he has something wrong with him. He's just not for you. So try not to put yourself down. Some people are going to view you as a 1 out of 10 person, while others will view you as an 11 out of 10 person. Just take your time and find the latter person. Story 83. I'm sorry if it stings, but dealing with adversity makes us more interesting. As a happily married 40-year-old man, I can say with 100% confidence that interesting women are hotter, smarter, more energetic, and much more fun. I think you dodged a bullet. Story 84. I almost guarantee she was more attractive, and he did what he thought was a kind thing, so he wouldn't seem so shallow and mentioned personality. He will have trouble with her. Most guys with more attractive girls suddenly find themselves in troubled waters. None of this is helpful to you, except that we always need to be our best version of ourselves. Story 85. Honestly, she was around me more, and I had more fun with her. I was actually happy and found myself smiling when I was around her. I didn't really choose one over the other. I just felt I needed to come clean with my girlfriend about this girl, whom I wasn't actually cheating with but spending a lot of time with. My girlfriend freaked out. I was emotionally cheating, and she moved out of my apartment to her mom's for a few weeks. Then the new girl started spending the night at my apartment within hours of my girlfriend leaving for her mom's, and I didn't tell her to leave because I was into her and missed her when she was gone. My girlfriend called me a week later and told me that she kept seeing a black Volkswagen in my parking spot, even in the middle of the night. I have 4 kids with the new girl now. Story 86. She may have been a better match for him. I don't know you, so you could be like a peach, a perfectly fine fruit on its own, but some people don't like peaches. This doesn't diminish the flavor and taste of the peach. Don't compare yourself to others. Story 87. She was a better match. That's all. Don't take it personally. There will be someone you will match with who is better for you. Story 88. Last time I made that choice, the other 2 women I was seeing were planning on moving away, so it was an easy decision. The time before, I felt like one of the 2 wasn't really into me, so it was also easy. Story 89. Just don't compare yourself to others. Something like attraction is so individual, it's never that simple. She is just hotter. The little things count and make you want more. For example, there are many men who don't prefer someone who is extremely energetic and outgoing. Story 90. Consider for a moment that the intrusive thoughts that forced you to ask a question you didn't want the answer to are probably the same intrusive thoughts you voiced to him in the past. Guys are simple creatures. Most of us are less concerned about being with the most attractive woman. It's red flags that can immediately flip the attraction switch. Story 91. I would like to say that common interests play a big part. I really liked this guy, and we were open about both dating and getting to know multiple people. However, he decided to be with the other girl he was seeing. I just told him thank you for letting me know and good luck. I would never torture myself by asking why. However, when I see his stories, I notice they smoke and go clubbing together. I'm not into any of that, and he knew that. Even though we had a great time together, and I think he's an awesome guy, he probably wouldn't have been super compatible with me in the long run, or one or both of us would have had to make some compromises. Things were just easier with her, and that's okay with me. I know I'm an awesome catch. So when that happens, I know it has more to do with them and what they need in a partner, not what I lack. Hope that helps. Story 92. Need to say here that the other girl might be more fun because she enjoys doing the things he does. Similarly, you might be more fun than someone else, depending on what you define as fun. By the way, he will get bored of that energy. Story 93. Realizing that even I don't control my own subconscious attraction towards someone made me understand it's pointless to worry about whether or not I control theirs. Dating really just is what it is. It's hard to remove the emotions, though. Story 94. He said he liked her personality better. Sounds like it is subjective to him and doesn't define you. Other people will like your personality better, simple as that. Don't compare yourself. You are unique as you are. Story 95. There are people who prefer heavy death metal music over the music I like, and that's perfectly valid. It doesn't mean the music I like is any less good. It just means it's different, and different people will like it. Story 96. The last time I made that decision to go with one person over another, it was because I was much more excited about them and our connection. I'm very glad I did. We are engaged now. Story 97. Here is when definitions matter. For example, for me and my wife, it would consist of swinging or bondage, or getting up on a Sunday at 5 a.m. to go hiking or fishing. Story 98. You will find someone who thinks you are delightful and captivating in every way. Not him, but you will. Story 99. Just felt more comfortable. Like I could be myself and talk more freely. Instead of thinking about how to please them or what they like, it felt more natural with the other person, and I'm really glad I made that choice even if we eventually broke up. Story 100. Think of it this way. One day you might choose the other guy. Only you will know why. And it doesn't matter to the other person why. It just is. Of course, if you get told you are obnoxious or offensive, heed that advice. Story 101. The first girl gave me strong intuitions that she loved attention from other men, and that turned out to be true. She was also very impulsive. Story 102. I'm pretty sure that if you're directly asking the person who dumped you for feedback, you're not going to like it. Story 103. I chose the person who saw me for who I was. If I said something, they would listen. The other person just rewrote what I said so I would fit better into the narrative they created of me. You sound lovely, don't take it personally. You will always be someone's 10 out of 10 and favorite personality. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.